Right then, just want to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
First of all, just tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay, so I work for Bute Island Foods. We currently export to both the UK and the rest of the world vegan cheese, various products, cream products, block products, mozzarella, grated, mature grated, you name it. We received the Queen's emblem last year for the standard of the product. So I believe that allows us to exclusively sell with the Queen's royal seal of approval. Um, there's not a lot else I can really tell you. The company's been running now for 30 plus years. And we have over 144 different products that go out to the world. In 2020, we were bought by a company called Saputo. Their sole purpose was to take our brand out even further in the world. They currently supply 5,000 major retailers in America. We launched Cathedral City Vegan Style last March, which is currently the #1 best-selling vegan cheese in the UK. We similarly branched out to the Wensleydale cheese range, and we have some exciting products coming out later this year, which at the moment in time I'm not privileged to talk about.
Can you tell us a little bit about when you first came in contact with NETS, and possibly about how things happened sort of around Brexit time?
Yeah, so I mean, I have to be honest here. Without net couriers, I don't think we would have continued to been allowed to continue to export into Europe. When Brexit came in, our export business wasn't the largest in the country, but immediately most hauliers wanted to start dealing with full consolidated loads of 20 plus pallets, which we just could not supply. At the time of Brexit, we were probably doing maybe 10, 15 pallets, but over a period of 4 to 6 weeks. So we were sending individual pallets out. Companies didn't want to touch it. Plus, as we're a vegan product and the changes to Brexit, they were a bit concerned about what that meant when trying to export their product into Europe. So I was tasked with having a look out at the wider audience to see whether anybody could help. And I have to be honest, Net Couriers was one of the only people that came in that wanted to help us. They were relatively new to vegan cheese when we first were introduced to them, but they took it on board as a challenge. They managed to offer us a service which was called DAPS, which then they adapted. They did all the import and export paperwork for us, which made things so much easier for our customers. I can't emphasize that, because you think Brexit was hard for us getting into Europe. The customers in Europe didn't understand what was required, and our various bases are such that we had small restaurants to large companies. So we had such a varied level of expertise. It was absolutely just a godsend that Net Couriers offered to do both the export and import documents. And because of that, we managed to successfully continue supplying to the customer, which I think is in no small term the reason why we potentially still have an export business.
So, what was your original reason for trying NETS?
If I can be completely fair, it was the fact that they came in. Everybody else that we'd contacted, they were interested initially. The moment we started to talk about the strategy and the number of customers and their base location and the variation of the pallets that we'd be sending, people just were lost interest very, very quickly. But when Net Couriers came in, I was impressed immediately by the reaction. They enjoyed the challenge. It was something that they'd never done before, so it was brand new for them as well. And they spent a lot of time working out the best way to get into Europe. And as I said, they found a successful route into Europe, which not only made life simpler for our customers, because all they had to do was make Net Couriers the customs agent, and then Nets were able to go and complete both the import and export paperwork, which meant the customer didn't have to deal with anything at all. They didn't have to deal with import into their country. They didn't have to deal with any costs afterwards. It was just pretty much, from the customer's perspective, business as usual, as if Brexit hadn't happened.
Can you think of anything that especially has impressed you about NETS Couriers Freight Forwarding?
To be honest, I think all of it. That I found them extremely forthcoming, extremely helpful. Reliability is a massive key for our business. You know, when they said they were going to do something, they would do it. There's been teething problems as we've gone along, but I don't believe any of those are down to NETS Couriers. I think they're just unfortunately because of Brexit. But whenever there was any issues, they worked tirelessly to try and resolve them. I remember one time, Brian, I think he was up till 11 o'clock at night trying to sort out an export that had got stuck in Crowborough. And I got a phone call in the morning saying it had been resolved. And it was that kind of approach from the team, very much a can-do attitude, very helpful and very supportive.
So safe to say you would recommend to anybody else that's exporting food or any other products, you would recommend NETS Couriers and Freight Forwarding? Yeah.
I absolutely would, without hesitation. I think you'll see what you're getting right from the start, and I can hand on heart say I've never been let down by them. You know, as I said, when things have gone wrong, it's not necessarily been NETS' fault, but they've always bent over backwards to fix it. And if there has ever been any issues, I've always found them to be fully supportive and fully helpful.
Great, fantastic. Anything else you want to add? Or?
No, I as I said, and I'll say it again, I think NETS Couriers are a very well structured and well organised company, and they've got a wealth of knowledge getting into Europe. And working alongside them, they've taught me a lot in terms of exporting into the various different countries inside and outside the EU. And not to mention, if I take exports to one side, they have an excellent transport system inside the UK as well. And I've often used them for UK chilled goods on urgency for things like shows and places like that. And again, I found them as equally as good dealing with the UK.
Fantastic.
You're going to edit this?
Yeah, I'm going to edit it. Yeah. I'm going to have to edit it because
I was going to say you're just going to leave in
screen instead of being at the top.
Oh, right. Okay. You're just going to edit it, and it's just going to say, "I'm John Graham." It's just the dog moving above my head.
Yeah. Great. Thank you very much.
All right, mate.
Have a great weekend, and thanks a lot.
And you look after yourself. I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks.
Bye, mate.
Bye.
Call NETS Couriers and Freight Forwarding. Call 01913733722.